Welcome to Only Murders in My Mind. It's Thursday, it's 5 o'clock and it's Only Murders in My Mind with Liz Hedgecock.
Hello.
And Mike Jackson.
Hello.
How are you all?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Well, spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung.
It has.
Yes.
Quite warm.
Yes, it's. We've had a few nice days and I've been trying to go out for walks because I don't do much. Exercise and me are like deadly enemies. I don't do much exercise, so I'm trying to go out each day, even if it's only for a short walk.
Mm-hmm. I've been out harvesting wild garlic, so.
Oh, well, that's exercise, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yes.
You can smell that in woods, can't you? You can strong.
It is very strong, yeah.
Went round a folly in Cardiff once. I was staying with my sister and we were walking up to it and I was thinking, what is that smell? It smells like garlic. It's wild garlic. I didn't know. I thought you only got it in a shop.
I think Ramson's is the other name for it.
Oh, right.
Arley Hall. If you go to Arley Hall, there's a section, the Root Garden, I think it's called, right at the far end. I've got a lot of wild garlic there.
Yeah, it really is a strong smell. Oh, I can just see my cat stretching on my chair.
Oh,
She's behind you.
she certainly is. Living the life of Riley, isn't it?
She is, yeah.
I wouldn't like anybody to have the impression that we haven't the foggiest idea what we're talking about today.
Oh, yes, we have.
What are we talking about today? Yes.
I tell you, going for walks, I try and get out a couple of times a week for a walk. It tends to involve stopping off at my favourite coffee shop and doing a bit of writing as well. But I find with the walks that I do, I listen to a podcast on the way down, do a bit of free writing, which I love doing, and then listening to a podcast on the way back. And all the podcasts I listen to, Liz will probably hit me when I say this, are all AI podcasts. Some fascinating stuff out there. But I really enjoy free writing. And I don't know if I've talked about this before. And it's the whole idea of, and if you've never tried it, you really must. The whole idea of free writing is that you literally set yourself some time, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, it's up to you. Pick up a pen, paper, and just write. And don't stop writing. The whole idea is that you don't let the pen or the pencil come off the paper. So that if you're writing and you're thinking, I don't know what to write now, you should write, I don't know what to write now. Just whatever's in your head.
See what comes from that.
And it's amazing what will come from the subconscious. And I've been doing it recently with two things. One, some of the shorts that I'm developing to go with our podcast, to go on our YouTube channel, some of the ideas from them have come from this rewriting. And I've also just purchased something called Instadoodle. It's a program for creating doodles on a whiteboard. And
Not a new breed of dog then.
I'm thinking that.
And it's they were doing a lifetime offer of $37.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to have some of that, yeah.
So now I'm trying to think, how do I use this new piece of software to make shorts to go onto our podcast?
You'll think of something, Mike.
Oh,
I will.
Yeah.
Well, with the free writing, something will come out of the bottom of my brain.
Well, I was, I probably said this before, I sing with a choir called Pop Vox, and we were singing at the Trafford Centre, which is a big shopping mall in the north of England, for anybody listening abroad. And we all have the same jackets. So to identify my jacket, I have got a Blue Peter badge. Now, if you're not British, you probably won't know what Blue Peter is, but these badges were awarded to children for doing things for the community and sending stuff into Blue Peter. Well, I got mine I was in my 70s. And the reason I got it was I trained a Blue Peter presenter to give vaccinations, COVID vaccinations. It was all recorded, and the producer told me that I may very well be on Blue Peter. And I said, I don't care about that as long as I get a Blue Peter badge, which she sent me. And then I was very disappointed to find you had to be under 16 to get free entry with your Blue Peter badge to certain, things like Madame Tussauds, etc. But a lady said to me, what did you get your Blue Peter badge for? So I told her, and she said, and were you on television? I said, no, they replaced me with a cow. And I won't go into it in any depth, but I was going to explain.
Oh, go on.
I was explaining to this Blue Peter presenter how the immune system works. So they got a cow and talked about Lister instead.
There you go. You see, it probably fitted in with the national curriculum.
It probably did. Yeah. So
did you know? I read this on I saw this on the news today that they are going to stop presenting Blue Peter live.
I am aware of that.
It's all going to be pre-recorded.
There'll be no more elephants pooing live.
No elephants
in the
pooing live.
studio.
oh dear, right.
Well, they're still going to do it. It's just it won't be live.
It won't be live.
Yeah, they'll be able to edit out the mistakes.
That's right.
Won't they?
Yes.
And here's one I made earlier.
Yeah.
That's right. So what we're really talking about?
Oh yes, we did have a topic.
Oh, it's not elephant poo. I thought it was.
Well, this is.
I've done all my research on elephant poo.
Oh well, maybe in a future episode, Mike, we can go back to that.
A lady said to me today at art, she said, I just put some blobs on a piece of paper and it ended up as an elephant. So okay, but I can see how that can happen at being...
See, when I put blobs on paper, it's blobs.
Blobs on paper,
Yeah.
We were experimenting. No, we're doing a very sneaky way of talking about Agatha Christie.
Are we?
Well, in a way. We're talking about one of the... Is it lesser known series?
I think it's lesser known, yeah.
Tommy and Tuppence.
Yes.
I've certainly never read any.
You've never read any Tommy and Tuppence?
I've read
my.
most of Agatha Christie, but I've never read any Tommy and Tuppence.
Yeah.
There you go, you see.
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit about Tommy and Tuppence, the first book that she wrote was the secret adversary. I can't, my mouth's not working. Adversary. Is
That's
that
the
right?
one.
That's
Yep.
the fella.
Yep.
And she published that, or her publishers published it in 1922. And the two characters are Tommy, who is Thomas Beresford, and his wife Prudence, better known as Tuppence.
Well, they're not married.
They're not married at the
point.
start.
No.
They're friends.
They're friends. Yeah,
Childhood friends.
they were.
Yes.
Yes, they were childhood friends, and they go on, and Tommy ends up working for his uncle, who is quite high up in MI5. Or that's
handy, isn't it?
That's what we believe anyway.
Yes.
Wasn't it during the war? Was it?
It's post-war.
Post-war.
Yes.
Because they were both serving in different capacities.
Right.
Because I think Tommy was serving actively and got wounded, and Prudence was she a VAD?
I don't know, because in the series I've just watched, he gets knocked over by a fruit van on his way to enlist and ends up in hospital.
But
no, I don't think that's the same as the book.
Yeah, he definitely gets wounded on active
Apparently,
service in this
Tommy
one.
fought in the First World War.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Because
and was wounded.
The prologue takes place in 1915.
Right. Yeah.
So there you go.
What I found fascinating, I've never read these, but when I was looking into them, it's apparently one of her only book where the characters in each story age.
Yes, I think that's what I like about them.
Yeah.
So it goes through. So that, I think in the later book they're in their 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
So,
whereas Poirot stays the same age
until
Marple,
pretty much. I mean, there's signs that he's getting a bit older, but it's not really
not
until the final book.
Miss Marple's the same, isn't
Yeah.
it? But whereas here, she's made a conscious decision that each story is sequentially taking them through their lives. Sort of thing.
But I've always wondered about MI5 and MI6.
Did I tell you about MI13 in my novelette?
Go on, tell us about MI13.
Well, MI13 is that branch of the intelligence service that not many people know about because it's all to do with witches and wizards and magic.
Oh, right.
I will say no more.
I see.
And is this something is it in a book or?
It's a novelette I'm working on.
Oh.
Dorothy is the agent.
Ah.
I like it.
Well, you might not.
I like Dorothy.
I think there's a murder in it too, Carol.
Oh, good.
So you will like it.
Might
even be two murders.
Whoa, it's getting heavy. Just for anybody that's interested, MI5 was formed on the 7th of October 1909 as the Secret Service Bureau. And the MI stands for Military Intelligence, and it was Section 5. And MI6 is the Secret Intelligence Service. So MI5 tend to work in this country, and MI6 tend to go into other countries. So James Bond must have worked for MI6, mustn't he?
Yeah. And MI13 are mainly based in this country with some going abroad.
In the
Sometimes,
shadows.
well, and into the underworld, and you
Yes.
know,
So when do you think you'll have this finished?
soon-ish.
How soon is soon-ish?
Well, what if it's now? It's and if I do this and that, it'll be not long. It'll be published by. Think of a day. Go on, any day.
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, this Friday.
No, not this Friday. Don't be silly.
Friday after.
Friday in May.
Okay, right.
It's sort of Friday.
This year?
In Friday, May. Yeah, of course, this year.
Just
Don't be
checking.
rude.
Right, you've said it now.
Yes.
Live on air on
I
Like
will.
Blue Peter.
I will mention it on a podcast
Yes.
sometime in May
I look forward to
to
it.
let you know that this novelette has been published.
Right.
Unless it hasn't, and I'll mention that as well.
Oh, come on. You've said it will now. You've got to do it.
I've got to hold my hand up though. I've still not finished my novella, and I keep saying I'm going to finish it. So
Do it on a Friday.
All right.
Sometime in June.
I will do. Yeah. But yeah, I love Tommy and Tuppence. So the series that I've watched, I think it's supposed to be the 1950s. I'm going by the clothes and the cars and things. So
Yeah.
Tommy is trying to keep bees. We've had a few detectives keeping bees, haven't we? Sort of thing.
It's probably a Sherlock Holmesy thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
But she is very. Tuppence is very inquisitive, and she reads lots of mystery books, and she wants to know. And I think
Tuppence is the lively one, isn't she?
yeah, I think she's a very good judge of character.
Mm.
Whereas Tommy, I think at the start wanted just a quiet life after being in the war and everything. He didn't want to.
Good luck with that, mate.
Yeah, he didn't want to get involved with anything. Hence the beekeeping. So
Yeah.
One of the things I found interesting, somebody had written somewhere talking about Tommy and Tuppence that Christie made a decision not to make either of these characters particularly physically attractive, which is quite odd in fiction, right? So apparently a quote about Tuppence had no claim to beauty, but there was a character and charm in the elfin lines of a little face with its determined chin and large, wide apart grey eyes.
In fact,
Sounds
yes,
lovely.
it's in this book here.
Oh, is it?
sounds very
Secret
attractive,
Ambertree.
actually.
And Tommy, face was pleasantly ugly.
Yes.
Nondescript, yet unmistakably the face of a gentleman.
There you go. Oh, and he's got
Yeah.
red hair as
And
well.
he's got red hair.
And she's got a black bob.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they feel very much of the time.
They do,
Yes,
don't they? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Apparently, again, what I read was that Agatha Christie really enjoyed writing these because we've talked in the past how she got fed up of writing Poirot,
Yeah.
and yet she really, and you do wonder whether the popularity of Poirot and stopped her from writing more of these because I think
Yeah.
these were fairly early on in her career, were they? They were written. But
This
1922.
This one, Secret Adversary, definitely was.
Was,
Partners in Crime, I think, was fairly quick too.
1929.
And then you've got, I think it's N or M.
1941.
That's a big
Yeah.
gap, that. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
By the Pricking of My Thumbs, 1968.
Crikey.
Yeah.
And Poster of Fate, 1973.
There you
So
go.
yeah, they're spread
There's
out.
only 5 of them. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they could have been her like sort of light relief after writing
Yeah.
the I mean,
Maybe it's like with Conan Doyle, and he really wanted to go off and do his
Do it,
historical
yes,
novels,
yeah.
not
Yes.
do Sherlock Holmes. But you've got to pay the bills, haven't you?
yeah, but I think it was I mean,
Apparently, they kept approximate age with Christie herself, which makes sense.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because
You know, so
I think
with-
they're definitely getting on in the last
Yes.
one, which I think was the last book she wrote.
It could
Boston
have
of
been.
Fate, 1973.
Could have been
Yeah,
the
could
last
have been.
book she wrote.
They were in their 70s, and she
Yeah.
would have been similar age. When
I
did she
think
die?
so. Yeah. Oh, good
Ooh.
question.
70.
I thought we've talked about this before, haven't
We
we?
will have
Yes.
done. but-
yes. But as I say, it slips from one's mind when.
They've
really
also been
does.
made into TV programs, but again, I have to say I've never watched them, never read it. I must
there
read.
was an adaptation when I was possibly in my teens. I think Francesca Annis was in that one as Tuppence.
Yeah, apparently there was one in 1983.
That's probably that
That's
one,
the one,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
another one in 2015.
That's the one I've seen.
David Williams
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm not
Jessica
sure
Raine.
about him as Tommy.
No.
No,
No.
No.
And the lass that plays Tuppence, she
Jessica
was
Raine.
Yeah, was she in Midwives? Anyway.
Oh, I don't know.
Agatha died on the 12th of January 1976.
So that's
she was
three-
85.
So this was posthumously. Was it 70? No.
She died 76.
70.
73.
73. Okay, yeah.
Just before.
Right.
So it
yeah.
could well have been her last.
Yeah, because I think
Book.
Sleeping Murder was possibly published last, but I think she'd written it sometime before in the same way as she'd done Curtain.
Right, so it was there written, ready to be published.
Mm.
Quite fascinating, isn't it? When I was just looking at these, that NRM was done 1941 and was set during the World War
Yeah.
War Tour. By the pricking of my thumbs, 1968, they were in their 60s, and they investigate strange occurrences in a retirement home.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah.
must have to
Yes.
read that.
Yeah, I think I've read probably 4 out of the 5. So,
Right.
So yeah, well, Partners in Crime is short stories.
It's short
Yeah.
stories, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
where they got the title of the latest series from.
Well, it is a great title, isn't it?
Of course it is, isn't
But
it?
the
You
funny
know?
thing about that one is, in the book, certainly, I don't know if they do it in the adaptation, each time they're kind of trying to investigate in the manner of a well-known literary detective.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's one where they're being Sherlock Holmes. I mean, a lot of the detectives now are just lost to,
Yeah.
because they've just faded into obscurity.
No, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Do we know why she got the nickname Tuppence? Is that mentioned at all anywhere? I couldn't find anything.
I don't know. I'm sure it probably is in one of the books.
Because when you say Tuppence, I immediately think of old money.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Tuppence, Prudence. I'm not. It doesn't seem to.
It doesn't seem to be a connection, doesn't it?
Make any sense.
Mhm.
No, but nicknames often don't, do they?
They don't know, but they usually have some sort of connection, don't they? And,
Yeah.
as I say, the first thing I thought of, I mean, she could have been called Threepence,
Yeah.
but she wasn't, or Sixpence.
I
Yeah.
worked for a guy called Tug Wilson, and I think it was from his army days or something like
right.
that.
Yeah. Well, there's an explanation here. Apparently, it's a nickname that's often given to a young child because it's a small coin.
All right.
Ah, right.
So it could be that. There's an actress called Tuppence Middleton,
Yeah.
and that's from, I think, her grandma's nickname for her mum.
Oh, well, that's
'Cause
nice.
there wasn't a Tuppence, was there?
It
Piece.
would be one pennies, wouldn't it?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, there's a 2p now. I mean,
Yes,
I
but
assume
that-
you mean in old money.
in
Yeah.
old money. There was
Old money.
I
yes.
real
no
money.
idea.
Real money. When you had farthings.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean not Bitcoin?
I used to coming home from school. I used to be able to get the bus up the road for 3 farthings,
Oh, good heavens!
and you'd stand. It was a double-decker bus, and because we were only going about 3 or 4 stops, you used to stand on the platform, hanging on to the bar. And what you did, you timed it as the bus slowed down. You jumped off, so you ran along with the bus. And if you were running for a bus, this bar was handy to grab hold of and throw yourself onto the bus.
Oh,
this
health
is
and safety.
health and safety.
Oh
did
yeah, I'm
exist
pretty
in
sure I
those
remember grabbing onto the back of a
Yeah.
bus. Yeah.
running and running.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm afraid I'm post farthings. So
Well, one of the daft things as a teacher, when I first started teaching, it was still old money. And then
wow.
new money came in when did new money come in? 1970?
Something like
A
1970.
bit before that, because I was still at college. Anyway, I know it's...
71.
Could have
Could have
been,
been.
yes, could have been. But when you think about it, when I was a child and we were learning to, say, addition with money, you had pounds, shillings, pence, and farthings. So you imagine and that was, so you didn't, it wasn't all in tens, you had sort of, imagine the sum of £3, 4 shillings and 9 farthing, take away £2, 5 shillings and 6 halfpenny. You really did
Yeah.
have to play around with numbers in those days.
15th of February 1971 we went
Yep.
decimal.
Ah.
But yeah, there was a lot more to add up and
Oh,
subtract
yeah,
and
Yeah.
oh yeah, getting. I mean, my brother emigrated to Australia in the 60s, and he was a very talented artist, and his first job in Australia was to help them design the currency for when they went decimal. So the notes and the coins and everything. I don't know which bits he did, but that's what he first did when he went to live there.
Wow.
When you think back in those days, I'm really going off on a tangent here. You had
Just slightly.
4 farthings in a penny, 12 pennies in a shilling,
Yeah.
20 shillings in a pound.
2 and 6.
2 and 6. Yeah.
Oh,
Half a crown. Yeah,
half a crown. Yeah, 5 bob.
Yeah. If somebody gave
guinea.
if somebody gave you sixpence as pocket money, you had a lot of money.
Yeah.
Threepenny bits.
Yeah.
At this point, Liz has gone to sleep because she's the youngest of us and has no idea what we're talking about.
I do have a vague idea because I need to know this for historical fiction.
Don't some people still deal in guineas, like horse, when you're buying a horse, isn't it?
Well, they might do.
So
yes.
many guineas.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll have races called the so-and-so guinea
Yes,
handicap and
guinea
things
chase.
like that, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, funny enough, we've had decimalisation, but I like playing around with wood, like doing some woodworking. And I still will think of wood in feet and inches.
I think of everything in feet and inches, and pounds and
Pounds and
ounces,
ounces.
which they're still doing in the States, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
They talk about pounds and ounces and feet and inches, don't
Yeah.
they?
And cups.
Yeah, that confuses me. Cups and spoons, and when you've got an American recipe and it's going 2 cups of flour, and I'm going, but I've got a little cup and I've got a big cup.
Yeah, or we've got a set of measuring cups for that reason.
Yeah, I have thought about buying them, I must admit. I usually just convert if I can. Google it.
I think that's one of the things with Tommy and Tuppence. It's the kind of period charm. 'Cause
Yes.
I was looking at the beginning of The Secret Adversary, which I have on my bookshelf, and you've got the prologue, and then it's like Tommy old thing and Tuppence old bean, and it's all very 1920s and jolly, and you know.
Yeah, you just
And that must have taken some writing, wouldn't it? Because you think of the 1922 when the first book came out, the language, the style, the world they lived in was very different to Poston of Fate, which came out in 1973.
Yeah.
So she would have had to written all those changes in, because even though they were in their 70s, Tommy and Tuppence, they were living in the 1970s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have adapted during that time.
Yeah. Well, they would have had to for the story to make sense to the reader,
good,
isn't it?
yeah.
You know, if somebody was reading that, and yet Agatha was still talking about flappers and things from the 30s and 40s, it wouldn't have made sense to them.
No.
Yeah.
So there's a skill there in actually being able to keep the same characters and have them aging. I mean, I just think, you know, I was born in 1950. How different life is today to as it was when I was a child.
Yeah.
When you think that you're talking about farthings and, you know, now you're talking about AI.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine if you're, you know, bus catching self and knowing about all that.
Yeah.
Well, as I say,
Would be like science fiction.
one of the jobs I had before I left work to start a family was working in a big computer centre in Runcorn. And when one of because the computers, there was a computer room, and it was a room full of mainframes. They were huge. And they used to go put punch cards in.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the ladies saying, "Oh, they reckon one day we'll all have computers in our home." And I'm thinking it'd have to be a big house. Not thinking how small they'd get.
Yeah.
You know.
And now you've probably got more power in this thing, this mobile phone I'm holding up, than you would have had in that whole room.
Yeah.
Well, they reckon there's more power in your mobile phone than was used to send man to the moon.
Yep.
Good grief.
You know, which is
It's a bit scary,
it's a bit
isn't it?
scary. And it's the same with the whole of AI. I mean, I was playing around yesterday with something called Sora, where I can put a text in and I can get a 10-second film out.
Oh,
Good heavens.
that's amazing.
And when you look at some of the examples of people really playing with this stuff, it really is quite fascinating.
Well, they're making you can buy for your home now a 3D printer, can't you?
Oh,
Yeah,
my brother's had a 3D printer. He's a teacher. He's had a 3D printer for about 10 years.
See, I can't see what you'd use them for, but I'm sure the people that want them know what they're going to use them for, as long as it's not making a gun.
My brother, a couple of years ago, had a problem with his lawnmower, and a piece had broken, and it was a small plastic unit of some sort.
I see where this is going.
And he couldn't for the life of him find a replacement. So he made one with a 3D printer and stuck them on eBay and sold a load of them.
See, that would never. I mean, my husband's got an award in there that he got when he retired, and it's made on a 3D. It's one of the parts that he designed.
Right, made on
for
3D.
subsea oil, and they made him the 3D. Actually, looks like he's won an award at the Mojo things where they get microphones. You know? Is a Mojo? Is that the right word? Because that's what it looks like to me. It's not, but that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
This is why I think, the skill of storytellers like Agatha Christie, where she had to, it was probably more difficult to write this one because she was having to change. Well, she couldn't change the characters; she had to change their surroundings and everything to fit in.
And
with
it's
the
that
times.
thing of, I mean, with Poirot, I'm guessing she could just like pick him up where she left him.
She left it, yes.
Whereas with these two, it's like, right, now they're this all and what's happened.
That's
And
right.
yeah.
How's the world changed?
Well, I've
Who's
noticed
got a
it
creaky knee?
in the strike novels because they run one after the other. So we're quite a way back in history, recent history. I mean, now it hasn't moved forward because each one is like there might be 12 months in between a case finishing and another case starting, but it hasn't moved on in like real time like obviously these did.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be, as you know, I do enjoy AI. I like playing around with AI, and it's moving the world forward so rapidly at the moment that anybody writing something today could seem almost obsolete in 2, 3, 4 years because the technology and so on that we're using. So if somebody's writing a book, a modern day book about how youngsters use phones and all the rest of it, within 2 or 3 years, that could be completely obsolete.
I remember rewatching the film Shallow Grave.
Oh.
And after about 20 minutes, I was like, I can't cope with this. Like, they would all have had mobile phones.
Yeah.
And nobody's got one, and it's just so weird.
Yeah. And that's how, when we're watching something, on television, that's how we age it. By the mobile phones.
Yeah, of course.
You look and you're going, oh, Sarah had one of them in the late 1980s. The little flip ones and all this sort of thing.
I remember watching as a youngster. One of my favourite programmes was Tomorrow's World.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love Tomorrow's World.
And you think, it's fascinating. Never happened, but it's fascinating. Well, if we went back and watched Tomorrow's World now, we think, how old? That happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Things are moved at such a pace.
It's like the Man from U.N.C.L.E. where they used to talk into the sleeves and you'd be thinking
Star Trek,
stupid. Yeah, but people do,
It's a bit like Lizzie's books about Fingers Malone and Jack and the time machine.
Yeah.
There will be time machines before long. We'll all be floating back into.
Oh dear, that does worry me. Messing about with fate.
At this point, Carol and Liz have both stopped listening to me and have disappeared out of the room, thinking, he's lost it completely again.
I think are we drawing it to a nice conclusion?
I was going to say, have you read any of the Tommy and Tuppences, or have you watched the
No,
series?
I've only watched the series, but I'm going to, now that we've talked about it, because I didn't know this bit about them aging. And I think that'll be...
I think that's the thing, because I think when you see them on the telly, it's always very, golden age flappers.
Oh, yeah, which I like. I like the style of the clothes and all that.
So they've not aged the series then? The series is set in a particular age.
They're not very long series.
Right.
I think the thing is, you tend to get the partners in crime ones where each story is going to be a separate episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And they're in a sort of a time frame of like, we got mixed up with so and so last week, and we better not do it this week. And
that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because Partners in Crime was 1929, so that would have been the heyday.
I think the interesting thing maybe is that the series on TV seems to freeze them in a way that Agatha Christie didn't.
Yeah.
So which is probably a reflection on the viewing public and what they want to see.
Yeah. So
in the same way as with Poirot, you have the titles, and it's all very Art Deco-y and very.
So those last
very
three, NOM,
yes,
by the pricking of my thumbs, I'm poster effect. I'm going to read them. I'm going to download those to my Kindle and read them, because I think I'll probably enjoy them after what we've discussed today.
Cool.
And I hope it's enticed other people to maybe have a look at this lesser known Agatha Christie,
Yes.
crime per, because as I say,
and I might have to reread The Secret Adversary because I've not read it for years.
Yeah, well, that's it. You see, all new again.
Mm.
Right.
And there could be some new books there, couldn't there, for us to write,
Well, no, because copyright
Oh.
2040.
It's me thinking of Billy and Tuppence.
Yeah. It's very close, but no
Yeah.
cigar.
I'd forgotten about the copyright, yes.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't try it on with Agatha Christie's estate. You're not going to win that one.
I know you've talked about this in the past, Liz. Is it 19... When's the copyright on Agatha Christie finishing?
2046 or something.
Something like that,
Something like that.
It's death of the author plus 70 years in the UK. I think it's 95 years since the work in the US.
Right.
So, yeah.
I won't be around. I won't be able to write anything.
I might still be here, but I'll probably be beyond writing. Anyway, there won't be any writing then. AI will have taken over the world.
Everything. Yes. Yeah.
On that note.
Yeah. Has anybody got anything? Any conclusions?
No, I mean, I always plug the podcast. I don't know if I've mentioned that we're now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Indeed.
YouTube has also got some new shorts. Have a look at those, please. Strange but True Crimes. And also, we've mentioned Liz's books, we've mentioned Carol's books. And if you want links to those, then they're on the blog, which is onlymurdersinmymind.wordpress.com.
Well done for remembering that.
you.
I'd have to have it written down in front of me. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
We'll draw this episode to a conclusion, and hopefully you'll be listening to us again this time next week. Bye for now. You have been listening to Only Murders in My Mind, a Random Thought production, produced by John Bissett. The music in Peril was composed and recorded by OM Studio Strings.